Did you know? In a recent interview with French gaming publication Game Cult, Miyamoto revealed that the pieces of the Triforce in The Legend of Zelda were originally going to be electronic chips, and the game's story would take place in the past and in the future. And because the hero of the game was the link between these two time periods, they named him Link. Although time travel was used in later games, a futuristic setting has never been used. Nintendo focused more on a fantasy setting for the game. This is actually what inspired Link's design. Miyamoto loved Disney and drew inspiration from their portrayal of Peter Pan. It's possible that drawing inspiration from Peter Pan had other effects on the Zelda series, such as both Link and Peter playing the flute, both fight their own shadows, both are accompanied by a fairy at some point, and the Kokiri are ageless just like the children of Neverland. The Zelda name had different origins. Miyamoto said that the princess's name came from Zelda Fitzgerald, wife of American novelist Francis Scott Fitzgerald, as she was a famous and beautiful woman from all accounts, and he simply liked the sound of her name. Before the Zelda name was chosen, the first game was simply known as Adventure by Nintendo's internal staff. One of the ideas for the game took advantage of the Famicom Disk System's ability to rewrite data. Players could actually create their own dungeons and have another player solve them. Nintendo even tested the idea and found actually playing the dungeons to be fun and focused on that instead. Nintendo started work on The Legend of Zelda at the same time as Super Mario Bros. And separated their ideas for gameplay mechanics into two different categories, ideas that would work for Mario and ideas that would work for Zelda. The thinking was that Super Mario Bros. Should be linear, but that The Legend of Zelda should be the complete opposite. There's been a fair amount of controversy in the Zelda series, most of it revolving around religion. The series deals with a lot of religious subject matter, and because Nintendo had policies acting against religious references in video games, many aspects of the games were censored in their Western releases. The most notorious religious censorship in the Zelda series is probably the removal of an Islamic chant from the Fire Temple in Ocarina of Time. The chant was in the original release of the game, but was removed from later versions. The same goes for the original Gerudo symbol, which was visually similar to the star and crescent symbol, often used in the Muslim community. A Link to the Past had several changes from its Japanese counterpart. The game's name was changed because it contained the word gods. When translated, the Japanese title is The Legend of Zelda Triforce of the Gods. The Hylian language was changed because the Japanese version contained Egyptian hieroglyphics, and a tile was redone in the Eastern Palace, presumably because it resembled the Star of David. The Loyal Sage's name was also changed, as he was referred to as a priest in the Japanese version, and the Sanctuary was originally referred to as a church. The original Zelda was also censored. The Book of Magic was originally named Bible, and although this was censored, the cross on the book wasn't removed, nor was the Christian cross on Link's shield. The censorship wasn't all based around religion. The Skull Kids in Ocarina of Time originally had black skin and bold lips. This was another case of a Nintendo character resembling the stereotype blackface. There was similar controversy in the Pokemon series with the Pokemon Jinx. Jinx' design was revised, and it seems Skull Kids was revised around the same time. With the release of Majora's Mask, the Skull Kid character received a beak instead of lips in the Japanese version, and a straw-like face texture in the international release. Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time share many in-game assets. This was a result of Nintendo reusing the game engine and art style from Ocarina of Time when they developed Majora's Mask. Though it was an efficient way to create a new game, it led to some inconsistencies. When they were creating Romani Ranch in Majora's Mask, they reused the archway from Kakariko Village in Ocarina of Time, and because it's unaltered, when translated from Hylian to Japanese, the sign reads, "Welcome to Kakariko Village." Speaking of Majora's Mask, there's a cryptic nod to it in The Wind Waker. During the Phantom Ganon mini-boss, Ganon shoots energy balls at you, then deflects them back with his sword. The sword he's using is engraved with Hylian text that reads Zubora Gabora, the names of the two blacksmiths from the Snowhead Mountain in Majora's Mask. According to Nintendo, Majora's Mask and Wind Waker are on different branching paths of the Zelda timeline, so this is likely just an Easter egg. If you use the Tingle Tuner while in the Tower of the Gods, you can find a 5-part story called The Legend of the Fairy. This story talks about a fairy who appeared before the hero of time and helped him by supplying him with maps. This legend is based on Tingle's role in Majora's Mask, but since the events in Majora's Mask took place on a separate timeline, it's not possible for them to exist in The Wind Waker, making this another non-canonical Easter egg in the Zelda franchise. Another interesting bit on Wind Waker is that there's an unused audio file for the water spirit Jaboon. The file makes it sound like Jaboon is wailing in pain. We know that Ganondorf tries to kill Jaboon, so this audio file could be from an earlier build of the game where Ganondorf was successful in killing Jaboon, or at least managed to hurt him. In issue 225 of Nintendo Power, it was revealed in an interview with Nintendo developer Yoshiaki Koizumi that the final boss battle with Ganon in Ocarina of Time was going to be very different. Ganon was originally gigantic, and Link would have to scale his massive body to deal blows similar to how you defeat bosses in Shadow of the Colossus. The idea was scrapped because of issues with the camera, as it could be confusing to the player because it never showed Ganon's entire body. Rendering the colossal Ganon at a steady frame rate would also have proven a strain on the N64's hardware. The concept was eventually reused in another Nintendo game, being the inspiration for the Super Mario Galaxy boss, Megaleg. That's all for today, but don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you also check out didyouknowgaming.com, where we post gaming trivia every single day. If you liked this video, then check out our other videos. And if you like stupid videos, then feel free to check out some of mine. You can check out one of my Zelda videos here, or you can check out my gameplay channel, where I also do a lot of Zelda stuff. The choice is yours.